Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. That's Sharyn.
And that's Rosa.
Welcome back, and thank you again for tuning in this week on Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. We really hope that you all are enjoying the episodes thus far and that you continue to hang in there with us. And if you have any suggestions, please feel free to send them our way. We would definitely look into doing that particular topic.
Right, right.
We appreciate all our subscribers, and of course, we have to shout out some of you all.
Mm-hmm.
And if I haven't gotten to your name yet, it's coming. I randomly pick them, so whatever comes up, I just kind of say
Wait
that
for
person's
it.
name.
Wait
Yeah.
for it.
Um, so today we would like to say thank you, Vaughn, for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for your comments and just thank you for listening and watching and sharing our videos. Hopefully, also, Fit Fierce over 50. Thank you.
Wow.
I'll be in your club next year, that 50 club.
Yeah.
Thank you for subscribing to our channel again, and also for your comments and your likes. And last but not least, D. Sanford, thank you for commenting on our channel, and thank you for watching and being one of our number one fans.
Yes.
We appreciate you. So again, thank all our subscribers. Today's topic is um,
You forgot.
coming. No, I haven't forgotten it. Today's topic is coming out of COVID. And what does that look like for you all? We'll give you a little understanding of what that looks like for us. Our other show that we did about COVID, we, told you a little bit of what our angst was, what how we were dealing with COVID. So now it's kind of on the mends. Hopefully, if everybody continue to do what they're supposed to do, get vaccinated, wear their mask, and all of that. But I have to make a small disclaimer because I know the last time on our COVID channel when we were talking about COVID-19, I said, "Well, I'm not gonna get the shot because I don't trust the government." Well, that not trusting the government hasn't changed, but I did get the shot. So I am gonna get vaccinated. I'm only on shot one. I get the other shot this week, but yeah. So
That's what we want to talk about. I mean, it's going to start the dialogue with it because, this thing has affected so many people and differently. It's around the world, it's in the United States, it's in our life, and I don't know anyone who hasn't been touched by it, affected by it. It's been close to it. Everyone knows somebody who lost a mother, father, child, partner, friend, grandma, all of that, and it's just been absolutely devastating. But along with the deaths and the sickness, the illnesses. There's so many other things that COVID has unleashed, if you will. What about, not just the vaccinations, because Rose and I went back and forth with that. And to capsulize it for you, as I've said many times, I'm definitely 60 plus 5. So I ran out. I mean, I would have taken 4 shots if they had them because I don't play with that. You know what I mean? Your health is your wealth. When Rosa had, as you said, different views on it and all, and she
and
held
I still
out.
do. I
Yeah.
I got it for simple reasons that I do travel often, and I don't want any angst with that. And for my job, I mean,
And that's right.
I
And
got to be vaccinated to go back now that I know that.
yeah, it changes everything. Now, you're
Yeah,
right. So, but it was something when it came upon us, as it came upon so many other people. We found out that we had, like I said, very different attitudes about it, and I got to the point that I was very disappointed, and that's the correct word, I think. I was disappointed in her resistance to it and her, and she was hesitant to move to action on it. And my thing is like, look, I don't want to catch anything, and I surely don't want to give my lamb chop anything, but I don't want her to give me anything either. So we had general what they call it generational differences on that. So I'm not blaming it all on that, but it bothered me more than just a little bit. So we worked it out, and we're still working. So she is getting her second shot. Yay! So that's just vaccinations. And how did you guys deal with it? Because you have children. There were a lot of mothers out there concerned. Should I give my 11-year-old get my 11-year-old get a shot, and the 15-year-old, and my husband, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And then can you get it? Where's the locations? And we were scrambling
Yeah, trying
around.
to find it.
And Rosa got my appointment for me, but you had to just keep being vigilant about it. So with that, that's how we dealt with it. It was not easy. It was not an easy thing because a lot of people still have some serious questions about the shots. I don't care whether you're going with Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson 1, Johnson 2, whoever. It was a lot. It made us think about a lot of things. So,
Yeah. So,
everyone's been talking about COVID weight gain or loss, depending on how you manage your stress. And, let's not forget, we went back into our caves and stayed there for a year, 15 months, 13 months, whatever. And that's a lot of time to give you to walk around your kitchen.
yeah, my weight for COVID. Now we're coming out of it. I'm definitely heavier, but I'm not as heavy as I could be. I kind of tried to stay active, so I got heavier, and then I kind of lost some weight and I gained some back. So I was more like a yo-yo throughout the whole COVID, the pandemic. So for me, yeah, I would say I'm probably between 5 and 10 pounds heavier than I was at the beginning of COVID. So I know some people can relate to that, whether you lost weight or whether you gained it. COVID was not my friend.
Right. It affected you.
Department.
And as far as me, I have no comment. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now I just had someone else to blame it on. It's COVID, I tell you. COVID. I gained 49 pounds. No, not really. But you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to blame it on somebody.
Yeah.
But we were baking and I even
picking up new crafts, trying to figure stuff out. I was trying to be a mixologist at one point.
She was creating drinks I never heard of, and then
I was just trying to figure stuff out.
Right. So. And then I don't know. One day I just got up and I was moved to actually make some peach cobbler, homemade peach cobbler, and they were good. I only made 2. And
she made like 2 small. Like
she makes it small so it doesn't sound bad when I say that she ate both of them.
I did eat both, but I don't want them to think it was like one of those. Big
No,
pans
it wasn't your grandmama's peach cobbler, but they were good. They were very, very good. But the point is, for me to even be that bored, that I would go in the kitchen and actually find some flour and some baking powder, and start making it. So back to the weight gain. Most of us out there in lesbian land, we can relate because we've picked up I've eaten a cookie or 2, all right? And Rosa works out much more than I do.
Yet I still gain weight, but I didn't work out as much as I could have.
That's true, but that's true with anybody. I mean, like when people were out there walking every day, walking their dog or whatever, now it's like they didn't walk as far, didn't walk as often.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like I said, it was more than a minute. It wasn't 6 months. It was more than a year. So like at least 15 months of really staying out the streets and out the stores and all. So.
And again, I think it was the mental capacity. Like I some days just didn't feel like doing anything, Right. So I think even with that, it could have been a little bouts of depression here, a little bouts of just manic there, a little bout of just being lazy. I mean, some days I just didn't feel like doing anything. So COVID, I'm glad it looks like we're on the
coming out of it. Yeah.
With the situation, things are starting to open up. We're starting to get back to somewhat, normalcy. Yeah. So, and I think people are feeling a lot better about themselves. So
sure,
I'm hoping,
and about all of it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it stays kind of like that because mentally I was almost gone, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. We've been a lot of places, but as a country, we've never been here.
Yeah.
The last pandemic was over 100 years ago. So I'm I'm saying that we wasn't ready for it. And then you had the people who didn't take the shots and don't want to wear masks, and they'll shoot you if you make them wear masks. And it just got crazy out there.
Yeah.
Crazy, and I mean in a dangerous way. So with that, mentally trying to deal with this, don't be afraid to say I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And you look around, and there's a lot of people who still not okay.
Absolutely.
But we're doing the best we can with what we got, and considering what had came upon us. Look, we are in the real world, folks. There are people who lost their jobs. Yeah. There's people who couldn't pay their bills, couldn't take care of the house and the children, and the children weren't in school. Yeah. Now, let's talk to the mothers and dads out there who, for the first time in forever, was actually spending 12 to 15 hours a day with their children.
Yeah.
Because they had to.
Right.
Because they had to.
They were forced to, right?
Yeah, they were forced to. So, it changed all the dynamics in our love life, in our marriages, and
in our finances.
Yeah, this hasn't been easy, and Rosa and we start our day with a prayer, but we truly been praying for people. Please, put food in the stomach of everyone who needs it. Give everyone who's cold some shelter. So, can you imagine being homeless, and you may or may not have COVID? Where you gonna go? Who's gonna take care of you? Who cares?
Right.
You know what I mean? And you get sick, you fix some chicken noodle soup and go in the house, and and somebody, even if it's just you, someone will take care of you. They don't have it like that. Right. They don't have it like that. So this has been horrible on for so many reasons, and today we want to talk about it. As I said a few minutes ago, I don't know anybody who wasn't affected by COVID, so now we're dealing with the deaths. How do you deal with that? There were people who've lost a husband. We had good friends that, your husband, your child, your grandma, all, it was a disproportionate amount of loss with people of color. So, I got tired of the memorials. I got, then zooming into a funeral.
I was just about to bring that up.
Oh,
yes,
my goodness. You want to talk about that for a second?
No, because I attended too many funerals, and some of them weren't COVID related, but the fact that you have the COVID deaths on top of, just the average number of people passing anyway, it was a lot. It was a lot. And you felt like you had to be on all of them because you want to support your friend or family or whomever it was, and it just was a lot mentally to even grasp, and those that didn't die due to COVID, it was the family dealing with whatever their death was and COVID. I mean, it was just
too much.
A lot.
Yeah.
I attended a lot of funerals within this past year, whether it was via COVID or just heard, because it couldn't be at all of them, but yeah, COVID affected us, whether it, like Sharyn said, indirectly or directly affected you. It was terrible. This was a terrible past year and a half, and we was resilient just to get past this for those who have. Right. And now that you're getting past it, it's like, where do you see yourself now? We were just talking about the whole death things, the vaccination is like, financially, are you in the red? Are you in the green?
How red is your red?
Right. I mean, does it look like you can bring yourself out of that? I mean, it's just so many components and factors for the end of this. So even when COVID has depleted itself and we don't hear about it as much, just getting the vaccinations maybe, it's like we're going to have long-term effects from it anyway.
Absolutely. So. And there was one guy, he lost, he worked at the city, but he lost his mother and father within 3 days of each other. I mean, that's just how do you get past that? How do you still go to work if you got a job and be okay and take care of the kids and the wife and the finances, and, who could be ready for that? The answer is no one is. And where do you put all that hurt at? How do you respond to the grief that you have in your heart.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, now we're arguing over the vaccines and which one is best, and don't do that. And if you're black and under 40 as opposed to white and over 60, what? They just made it so difficult. And you're just trying to do the right thing, but more than
Yep.
anything, we were trying to survive it.
Absolutely.
And as Rose and I speak to you this morning, we are extremely blessed. I think, as we said earlier, like it has affected everyone, but in different ways, of course, and to different degrees. Rosa and I think, learned a lot about one another, and I'm sure you did too, even the people that's in your life. And so I want to, throw it out there to you guys, like, what did you learn about your partner or your wife or your sister, or your mama that you didn't know until this happened? And putting the spotlight on us. Rosa, when it first came down that she wouldn't be on campus, she put her office conveniently in the living room. Now that didn't work out for me because not the living room. So I was trying to send it out to her that, hey, maybe maybe put your office in one of the bedrooms or something. And she did. She moved her office in there because I still had to navigate around the house. I don't want to disturb her because she's working. Close the door and, I'll take care of things, and maybe we'll get together for lunch at 2 o'clock, And so what I learned was that we can stay huddled up together for long periods of time before getting totally on one another's nerves. Totally. So, I don't know, babe. I mean, do you think it was worse on me or you as far as just having to do what we just did?
I don't
724.
think it was worse or
Was better?
yeah, I think, it kind of affected us both in different ways. So what you may be considered worse may not what I would consider worse.
Okay.
But I can say is, when all of this happened, nobody knew anything. So I moved my office in the living room because I really thought it was going to be a short term
Just
thing.
for a minute.
And the longer it got, I needed, more privacy space too. So something with a door. And so I was okay with, moving it into one of the bedrooms. But it's been working out for as long as it's gonna work out. I gotta go back to work in 2 months. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. But for me, not working, not just making the truck to work. Or I said trek to work.
Yeah.
Making that trek to work was a lot of what my stress was prior to COVID, and that helped me a lot. Because it's traffic. I just don't do well. I want to be able to get in my vehicle, go where I need to go. I don't want to have to stop and go 15 times and for 30 minutes, take an hour and a half to get somewhere. It's
Right.
that
Right.
is one of my pet peeves. So, I think God answered my prayers in that sense because I probably would have been going crazy by now.
Oh, absolutely. And
So-
the upshot was that, like, all right, I'm going to work, babe. And she, 7 little steps. She's in her office. Now, what bugged me, maybe bugged, it wasn't the right word, but I'm not used to having her home all day, every day. So now she finds out what I really be doing,
Which is nothing. She be doing absolutely nothing.
No, wait a minute.
I feel like I have to give her work to do. I'll be like, babe, read this.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, she's taking a class. She said, well, you do some reading for me. And I'm like, I'm not taking that class, because I did get some rest in. And so now you had to reinvent the day, because your sweetie's home, right?
Right,
So,
but you weren't doing anything. When I would give you stuff to read, I've already read it. I just would give it to her to see what she was going to say because she looked like she needed something to do. Really.
okay, interrupting my law and order marathon once again. So what I'm saying is, I just thought it was funny that the way she perceived it, so I was like to try to put myself on some kind of schedule that would incorporate her too. So when she goes her little commute down a hall, 7 steps, I would say, well, okay, I'm gonna leave her alone. I'm gonna try to be, quiet, dare I say. And so I said, okay, maybe we meet together for lunch at 1 o'clock, or maybe 2:30, depending on what your schedule is, meetings and Zoom, all that. So I was trying to make her fit on my schedule, and it was interesting that she had the attitude that because I'm home and now that she's home, I can do more things for her. And I just didn't understand that.
That is not true. First of
That's
all,
how I took
you
it.
didn't even respect the fact that I was working from home. So she'll come in and just be like, "Oh, can you bring the water in from the car? I just went to the store." I'm like, okay, let me just get up from the computer and do that. But it's still, she was, interrupting stuff. Now, most of the time, if I'm on the computer, if I'm meeting, I'll point to it like, "Can you hush? I'm on the call," or whatever. But she didn't care. It wasn't like she even knocked. She just come on in the room.
It's interesting
Can you do this? Can you do that? So yeah.
I would interrupt and say, "Sweetie, what do you want to do for lunch?" I would make those kind of interruptions.
Not even that. I mean, it was like small stuff that you didn't even need to interrupt for half of the time.
So you see me as an interruption?
Oh, definitely. You were a big interruption. I mean, and it was times where
did y'all just hear that? She said, "I'm a big interruption."
That I personally stepped away from the computer because sometimes I need to step away. But that to her means I can do something that she may need me to do. Like, no, I will do it after work or not at all.
That's interesting.
And if I can do it in between, I would, But it's like every time I step away doesn't mean it's something to do for Sharyn.
Let me tell you about the holes in that story. I would stay away from Rosa. Like I said, maybe inquire about what time you want to do lunch or whatever. So I go do my little errands. Well, if that means, get gas, putz around the exchange, do something, go to my personal favorite, Home Depot. So I do these things to eat up some time because I do have the time, right? Well, now she's like, you be doing things, but it's not in the house. Where do you go between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon? Now she's in my personal business. And sometimes I
will always be, just so she know.
So my concern is, if you supposed to be working, why are you worrying about what I'm doing with my day and time? So as we were doing these things and finding out these things during COVID, and we hit a couple of bumps. So try as I did to stay out of her way. One thing, something else that I discovered was, okay, everyone knows I'm a morning person, so I still jump up between 4:30 and 5 for no good reason. I get up before she does and let her rest to 7 if she can, right? Wonderful. Well, as I'm up early, putzing around the house or leaving the house somewhere between 10 and 1 in the afternoon, then it's the question of where are you going? So I can't win from losing. And I wanted to give her space, being, quiet while she's working. So now we have I'm winding down for my day at 4:30. She's like just getting off of work and say, "Come on, we got to go somewhere. I just got to get out this house. I feel like the walls are coming in on me." And I'm thinking, I've been outside. I'd have been over to Point Loma. I done zipped up the road and I've been to to Home Depot. I'm happy and I'm tired. I want to do nothing. So she wants to get up and, well, I want to run now. Let's go down to Balboa Park and this and that. And I'm like, I see we have a scheduling issue here because I've already had my day and she feels like her work day has been fulfilled. Now she wants to go have that, let me get out of here. So I think we bumped heads on that. Is that a fair statement?
It's pretty fair, but I think for me, the most of the times I only ask you is when I realize I hadn't been out the house in 2 to 3 days. Like if I was saying, "Oh, my car hasn't moved in 3 days," like I didn't do anything but get off from work, and then I might have done something else in the house. It was just a lot for me not to get out. So
right, I understand that.
You can only come out in the backyard so many times.
Right, and I get that.
You just need a new scenery, new change of pace, and so I would ask her, let's do this, and this, and she's like, well. Then she get, because I don't ask her at 4:30 or 5 when I'm getting off. I ask her throughout the day. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. Now, when 4:30 or 5 comes, is a whole nother story.
An excellent
Can
time
I
to take
take
a
a
nap.
rain check? Can we go next time? Can you just go by yourself this one time and then So it was always an excuse. So that was one of the things that we
Okay.
bumped heads about. So yeah, it was tough. I'm not even gonna say COVID was great for us.
No, no, it was.
either,
It was
but
horrible. It was a horrible thing. So our show was today.
inside our house, outside the
Yeah,
house, it was just tough.
it's like a lull had came upon the world, if you will, and it has.
Yeah.
And it has. And then in the mix of that, you had what was going on in D.C. On the 6th of January. Then you
Yeah.
have George Floyd, and it was just a lot coming at us.
One thing
know,
after the next.
and
But COVID, wasn't bad for everybody. Some people
No.
thrive. Some people
Well,
switched thinking, did something
Oh,
different,
made some-
and
yeah.
business taking off. So, but for us, it was
for
just
many
a
other
struggle.
people, not so much.
It was a
So-
struggle for me.
So we're asking you, how are you guys doing as we're coming out of COVID? How's your relationship? How's the finances? Are you looking for a job? Did you lose the old one? Are you reinventing yourself? And a little hug here from the poo, and just because we can't fake it. This has been horrible, and for Black people, it has been incredibly horrible, times five. We want to. This is a wellness check. We're checking in with our people to say how are we doing? How do we get you? If you're not doing okay, how do we get you there? What do we need to do? What do you need to do? And to make it better than what it was, because I think we get to take the mask off here on the 16th of June.
Yeah. And how do you all even feel about that?
Yeah, because the things
I think it's the 10th of June. Don't we take it off the 10th?
No, that's my birthday.
Oh, I know.
I would know that. No, it's not the 10th. They're running late. Running late.
Something
It's
happens
the
on your
16th.
birthday.
Something happens on. Is something going to happen on this birthday?
No, I'm gonna be gone. So you can make whatever you want to make of your birthday.
I don't even want to talk about that
I
because
won't personally be here.
I need 10 minutes, as my friend Marnie. I need a minute. That's for you, Marnie. I need a minute. My babe ain't gonna be here for my birthday. Should I be concerned? But I hear there's a party at one of the local casinos. Oh. In the special room.
So y'all know where to find her. So
I'll be in the high limit. But seriously, we want to know how you guys are doing, and the things that we learned, from COVID was just one that I do realize that I love her even more. We can get along for long periods of times, but even that has a expiration point. Okay. Finances.
I might say I'm looking forward to August 2nd.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got jokes. We got jokes this morning? Okay, I got a couple for you. So, like I say, I learned that we can get along together pretty well for long periods of time. And respecting her space. Yeah. We realized that we had to get a cleaning lady because she said she wasn't messing up the house, and I'm saying I didn't mess up the house, so we blamed it on the gray ghosts. The gray ghost is who you blame when no one else is taking responsibility. So, as I said, the cleaning lady has saved our marriage. Because when you're home all the time, all day long, and I'm like, who dirtied up these dishes? So don't make me start on that one. There's something else I want to talk to you. Yeah, the finances. We were very blessed. We, you know what I mean. We, you don't lose your home. You don't lose. We okay. We've been extremely blessed, and my heart goes out to people who are still trying to find their way out of this whole. If you weren't doing okay before, and then here comes COVID, and you lose your job, oh my God, and you got 3 kids to feed, and you're a single mother, and you go, and your grandma just died. Oh, it's just. Yeah. I'm tilted. So again, this is our wellness checkup for you guys, and just taking a pulse. You
Yeah.
got you guys okay? How far away from okay are you?
Yeah.
And
And what does coming out of COVID look like for you all?
right, right, because
What
it's
is
different
that?
for everybody.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
we
The areas we struggled in, you may not have. The areas that we have not, you may have. So
yes, yes.
it affected everybody differently, and different people went through whatever it is
Just
that they were going to
overall
go through.
health. There's one
Yeah.
friend of mine. She said, "Well, I don't have COVID, but she had a slight heart attack, and I never liked that word slight. Ain't nothing slight. Slight should not be in the same sentence as heart attack
For
in
real.
in my mind. Okay, but what does okay look like for you now? And the reason why we do this is because we care. We're checking in because we care, and we want you guys go on and check in with each other because I assure you, everybody ain't okay.
Everybody's not okay.
From the things we're reading, the text that we get, and we truly appreciate the things that you share with us. We appreciate that, but we're also saying like, hey, I got like universally, let's be there for one another. Let's truly, because that's what we do. We're women,
Absolutely.
and I think in lesbian land, it's times five. Check in on your sisters. If you guys doing okay, I bet you know someone who isn't.
Right. Right. Right.
As simple as that. Okay.
And don't be afraid if you're the one that's not okay to
Yeah.
reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to someone. Call Sharyn. Like I said, she likes talking on the phone when I'm at work in my office because I hear her conversation. So call her.
I'm a communicator. I'm a Gemini. What do
She
you
will talk to you. She's not a professional, but she will talk to you.
Oh, meaning professional in that I don't have 3 PhDs.
Yeah.
Mm.
In the subject of helping.
Oh,
somebody.
in such a helping, yeah.
Yes.
But I got 50 years experience of
Yeah, she'll talk to you though.
show enough life,
Call her.
not in the fast lane, life in lesbian land.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been around.
Yep.
We've been around. So at this point, we're going back around. So I think that's going to do it for today. Like I say, we're just doing a wellness checkout as we are all coming out of COVID. Until next time, of course, we're wishing you the very best.
Of all good things, stay safe and stay woke.